A good healthy living resource for primary school is something that children can directly apply to their own lives.
It's got to be active and have something to do rather than just sitting and doing nothing.
The information needs to be relevant and
easy to use. It's got to be quick and accessible. It's got to
be able to identify with the food and the drink that you're using, both the healthy and junk food.
It's better to be positive and to build positive thoughts about what they should be doing rather than what they shouldn't.
The resource that the children are using today is called the Big Food Challenge. This resource is actually free from the British Heart Foundation. This pack comes with 5 or 6 different resources, and the resources are actually designed to teach children what healthy living is and what healthy eating is all about. Within the pack you get a number of resources. There's a resource that the children can use which is like a spinner game. There's another resource in the pack where the children can actually play Snap, so they match up food groups as well as food types. I wanted something to keep the children active but also learn more about what it is to be healthy. And what I found was that it enabled the children to learn a lot more than simply when you're doing a science lesson. It's a resource that opens up to other areas of food that, I probably as a teacher wouldn't have time to go and find or, put all together myself.
This particular resource, the fruit slices, caught my attention because it gives the opportunity for children to discuss the work, to actually get into character. For example, here they've got pretend you're a healthy living expert or a fast food fan. I think it will really spark off some good discussions within the classroom.
Kids will always love to spin around and play a game. It's a nice way, a non-threatening way, I suppose, to introduce healthy living rather than just you will eat healthily because it's good for you.
I particularly like the playing cards. They're good for starters, introducing the topic of healthy eating and healthy lifestyles, and also for plenaries or group work. Good for kinesthetic learning, group discussions, lots of uses really for those.
Well, this would be perfect to go with my humans and growth topic this year. So they can arrange the parts of the body in the right order. I'm not going to try and do it now.
I like these cards about different food families. They're really, really good because they give you pictures and names of the different types of food on the front. So there's the stone fruit. And then on the back, it gives you some really good information about each one of those, some facts about where they're grown and if they are seasoned in the UK as well. My children really liked this because they thought it was really good. It gave them lots of information, and then they liked the quizzes at the end as well. It's really, really good.
You've got some lesson plans in here. You've got your learning objectives at the top. You've got a labelled design kit so they can look at how foods are labelled, which is really important, so they can come to terms with the fact that they have to check the labels every time they go into the supermarket to see how much salt there is and how many additives there are.
I really like this globe that comes with the pack. It's really cross-curricular. We use it in our classroom to find where the fruits are grown. We use these cards, which tells you on the back there in the home and away section, and we look on the globe to try and find the country. And then we try and think about how they are transported to our country, if it's going to be plane, boat, or possibly even lorries.
As a ready-made resource, it's absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I mean, it's glossy, it's colourful, and it's bright. And, as you can see, the children actually enjoy playing it. It's absolutely brilliant.
This is a year's worth of tar. It's the equivalent amount of tar that a smoker will put into his or her lungs for a year.
Oh, God.
It looks pretty disgusting, doesn't it? But I think it's a brilliant way of illustrating that to the children.
I'd probably use that with Year 5 and Year 6 children.
It's just got it all in one jar, hasn't it?
A lot of the children in the school have parents that smoke, and that would be very worrying for them.
It's a wonder you don't drown.
You're going to be actually in the middle here, look. You're going to be in the middle here, OK? Stop. Who knows what a lollipop lady does?
I do.
What does she do?
She stops them stop.
Makes who stop?
The cars.
Good, excellent.
It's a road safety package that we received from a company called Street Beat, and it's to teach the children in early years road safety. It's like a fun activity to teach them, like when they're crossing the road, they have to press the lights or they have to wait at the zebra crossing for the lollipop lady. So it's just a fun way to teach the little ones especially about road safety.
Right, go slowly, traffic, go slowly.
You get the road that you put out, you get all little tabards for the children, so they're all different. Some are people, some are cars, traffic, some are traffic lights. There's a policeman, there's bikes, so lots of different resources for the kids so they can hands-on activity. I haven't seen the most recent version. There is a new version of it and it's supposed to be more realistic with pictures on the floor. So I'm looking forward to getting the new pack. I will be sending off for it.
Looking at this, I think it looks really impressive. For the little ones especially, straight away that's going to appeal to them because they just really like dressing up.
I think hall activity, outdoor activity.
Classroom activity, depending on what you were using it for and how many children wanted to use it at a time with it.
You can take parts of the resources away and use them as talking points in the classroom.
When I first look at it, it really stands out as being very practical, very hands-on, very brightly coloured, makes me immediately want to walk down the pathways.
So there's actually enough to do it as two groups as well, so you could actually split.
You could split in half so that you could have two of the children.
And I like it because it's physically doing something, it's standing there, because it's...
And they're looking at it, it looks real as well, it looks like the real road.
Saying things to children, it's actually right now, you stand here and this is...
Yeah. We've got lots of these little stands.
So you could start and say, right, what do you know about roads? What features of roads? What
belongs where?
It's a starting point, can't you? And especially for little ones who are really kinesthetic, it's a physical going through the process and doing things, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So it looks very kind of interactive, but very appealing in terms of colours and the size of it, the actual size, to be able to physically walk along it. And I can see that you'd be able to pick up the stop and go signs, and that would be appealing for children hands-on to turn them and have fun in getting them onto green and red and so on.
That's clever. You can put your car, so they could, if it was in reception or nursery.
You can put your actual cars on it.
Yeah, they can ride their trikes on it, which is great. Really good idea.
Absolutely lots that you could do with this. Even with the older ones, because a lot of the older children run out in the road and it just reinforces road safety. I think it's really good.
I think it's great, and it just brings home the importance of road safety as an issue for everybody.
Yeah.
Irrespective of age, actually. It's really important.
And it's a shame
everybody.
it's so small in many ways, because actually the older kids,
they would love doing
they'd love it, but it's perhaps too small for them to have a go with and to practice with. And actually they probably need the message just as much as the younger children.
This is our vegetable garden. Every year group has their own bed, so every child in that year can come down and take part in the growing and producing food that they enjoy then at their lunchtimes and their meal times.
Even in central London, we've got space for our very own kitchen garden. We've got carrots, beetroot, runner beans, and throughout the site we've got potato bags.
Hi, we've built this amazing greenhouse out of 1,600 bottles that the children collected. And they then planted vegetables from seed and grew them in the greenhouse, which they've now transplanted into our vegetable garden.
And you might be able to see the two new members of our Churchville family, our two chickens. And they've been here with us for just over a week, and we've already had some eggs.
I wanted to show you the Christopher Winter Project resources, which is a scheme of work for teaching SRE to children between Year 2 and Year 6. It's a CD-ROM with 3 lessons for each year group, basically, which sets out what activities you should do and basically the learning focus for each of those year groups. Starts off thinking about the body parts and goes on throughout up to reproduction for Year 6. It's completely foolproof as to what you teach, and all of the information you're giving them is backed up, and the teacher has guides about what they should be saying to their children. Let's try clicking. So each of your lessons you get a lesson plan, which is on Adobe, and you've also got a set of resources. So your lesson plan literally has lesson timings, it has a lesson aim at the top, has your learning outcomes, lists the resources you're going to need for the lesson, and then just summarises 5 or 6 short activities that you're going to complete throughout the lesson, which might be, for example, little game cards like this with true and false, truth, don't know, and false kind of setup, where you then might have to try and match little cards to the right ones to try and work out what the children know already, and you can then discuss what you find out. Teachers' guides are available too, so if you're doing the Kim's game, you've got a list of instructions for the teacher to follow and key ideas about puberty that children might be going through.
I think it's a really good package. One of the things that I like about it is before we started teaching SRE, it's something that I was really anxious about teaching. I was worried about how it would go. But these lesson plans actually give you short activities, the children are constantly engaged, lots of circle time, lots of discussion, and it makes it really good fun.
It's set out really nice, really easy to find where the resources are, where the lesson plan is, where the scheme of work is. And it's very comprehensive as well. It takes you through step by step. But I perhaps wouldn't use it as, you know, there are other things on the internet that I could get which are very similar.
I particularly liked the worksheets and differentiated lesson plans for the teachers. There was a lot of good resources on there that I think would be useful to supplement perhaps another package for teachers.
One of the activities that I really liked was the problem page activity. This is split into boys and girls. I found the children really enjoyed it because they could relate to it and they had to come up and think of their own solution which they could then share with the class.
It's quite prescriptive, but I think with something like SRE, I think it's important to be prescriptive because teachers tend to be very nervous about using it. I'm very nervous about teaching SRE. But because I know it's been researched properly in the project, I know that I'm not going too far, but I'm also delivering what I need to deliver.
My only concern with the package, the SRE package, is that teachers need to stand up there and deliver the lessons themselves. I think for some teachers that's quite confronting and they may find that a bit difficult, whereas other programs you can buy into or find resources for do the lessons through videos and interactive links for you, and afterwards you facilitate question time and then send the children to do some work about it.
What I really like about it is actually it's not sitting and thinking, oh God, I'm teaching SRE to children. You're thinking, I'm teaching them a lesson. So it's a really, really good resource which has really helped me to become much more confident teaching SRE to children.